Welcome to Data Visionary Talks. I have the pleasure to have Keith with me. So Keith, would you mind shortly introducing yourself? What are you doing at NetApp?
Sure, I'd love to. So I'm Keith Barto. I'm Director of Product Management for Converged Infrastructure and Lifecycle Management. And my company, Immersive, got acquired by NetApp at the end of March. And I was also one of the original FlexPod architects from Cisco. So I've had the privilege to be a part of FlexPod since the very beginning with a lot of my colleagues here from NetApp and Cisco. And it's really a privilege, and it's been exciting to bring the team here and to also be able to showcase our solution, Converged Systems Advisor, here at Cisco Live. I almost said Insight. Cisco Live in Barcelona. So it's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here. You mentioned FlexPod, and for most of the people who know me, I'm pretty passionate about FlexPod. It's been my baby for the last few years. And you mentioned your product can you tell me a little bit like what's the uniqueness about the product? I mean, it must be pretty great for us to buy it. So congratulations on that. Would you like to share it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we developed Converged Systems Advisor. It used to be called Immersive for FlexPod. We developed it about 4.5 years ago. And the reason we did was because customers and resellers kept on asking for where's the tool that validates the deployment of my FlexPod? How do I know that if I bought it from a reseller that they set it up right? What if I put it together myself? Because one of the big benefits of FlexPod is that you can take existing servers, network storage from Cisco and from NetApp and put them together with those best practices. And if you can do that effectively and you put your workloads on there, you want it to be set up properly, right? You want to get the best performance, you want to get the best high availability, and we just didn't have tools to do that. So Immersive built the lifecycle management solution for that. We've brought it into the Converged Infrastructure group at NetApp. We've added a lot of resources. NetApp has made significant investments in the team and adding additional resources, and we're building that next generation lifecycle management solution. So we're really excited about the opportunity. We're really glad to be able to take FlexPod to the next level, and not just FlexPod, but all NetApp converged and hyper-converged infrastructure. So this is such a great opportunity for us to showcase our technology, as well as to continue to innovate inside of NetApp.
It seems like you're working on really exciting things. I can't wait to see where you're going to bring the product next. You mentioned data a lot, and we are very passionate about data and how our customers use data to bring their companies to the next level. What I want you to ask you though is, can you tell me how we at NetApp use our data? You seem to be like the expert about it, so tell me more.
I don't know if I'm the expert on how NetApp uses the data, but I can tell you that Converged Systems Advisor is gathering specific customer configuration data from the FlexPod, right? How they provision the storage, the compute, the network, the hypervisors, and how they're using that system on a daily basis. And with CSA, we're looking at that data to prove that the configuration is following best practices, but we can also look at things like the features that are enabled inside of the UCS Nexus and NetApp, and we're able to maybe look back at something that the customer said during the sales cycle, like, I need deduplication. Well, if they didn't turn it on, they're not getting the full value of the solution in the FlexPod, so we should go back with our sales teams, use that data and say, hey, turn deduplication on, let's get that benefit, right? Or maybe we looked at how many customers are using their FlexPods, and we can design that next generation FlexPod to make it even that much better. So we can use CSA's data in a bunch of different ways. Another good example would be like support. Right, when our customers call for FlexPod support, wouldn't it be great if we were all looking at the same dashboard, and instead of them having to ask, what's your model number, what's your serial number, what's your contract ID, we say, hey, just tell us your FlexPod name in the data center, and we'll look at the screens and we'll tell you what's going on, or we can be proactive about telling them how to fix something as opposed to them calling and asking for support. So the way we can use that data is obviously very powerful, and as we continue to evolve the solution, I think it'll be even that much more valuable.
Absolutely. Honestly, since the beginning of FlexPod, it's always been so the support is the core part about the value proposition of FlexPod. customers really value that, collaborative support. And what you just mentioned, I think is the customer's dream to be able to not have to say what their problem is. So hopefully that would be something that we will see next. I think our audience, the customers maybe who are looking there, will like, yes, I hope that happens next.
I think the cooperative support model has been really valuable over the last couple of years. You asked about the relationship with Cisco and the things that we're building together. I mean, FlexPods continue to evolve over the last 7 years, right? We've had FlexPod Data Center, and then we have FlexPod Express and FlexPod Select, and now FlexPod SolidFire, right? We want to be able to support our customers as the technology evolves and as their business evolves. And I think that the better that we can use the data out of tools like CSA, and the better we can provide lifecycle management to our customers and our resellers, we can make the FlexPod brand that much more solid with Cisco.
Incredible. I'm really excited about the future of FlexPods. So,
me too. It's been a great 8 years, and it's amazing to be back here at NetApp as well.
It's crazy. It's been 8 years, so hopefully we'll see things evolve over the next 8 years as well, and still providing excellent service and excellent products to our customers. One thing I want to ask you though, so we at NetApp, we're super passionate about data. So do you have like a personal story about data you could share with our audience?
Personal story about data. Well, I've been pretty heads down for the last several years building data analytics platforms, right? So, and obviously I've been very focused on FlexPod. I'm learning how to fly airplanes right now, and we use data extensively in learning how to fly, right? We're looking at weather data, we're looking at the airports, we're looking at the systems on board the airplane, we're using tools like XM satellite weather when we're flying, and it's really a lot of fun, but you're using a lot of data to make the decision as to whether you should fly or not, what to do when you are in the air, how to control the airplane appropriately, and making sure that you're really safe. So I think as a hobby, using data in the airplane has been really educational, but it's also critical, right? Because you want to be safe. You want your passengers to be safe. You want your family to be safe when you're in the airplane. And it's a lot of fun. So I think that would be a good personal experience around data that's pretty recent and pretty fresh for me.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Well, hopefully data would be stored it will be reliably stored, and you can always count that you'll be safe when you're flying. And I think it just makes a good, strong message for our audience. Is like, data is such an important thing that it could save your life. It could help you fulfill your dreams. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Absolutely, and you triggered something when you said saving the data. So when we look at what we do with Converged Systems Advisor, we keep all of those snapshots in snapshot history. So when you look back on where a system was at a certain point in time, we're actually able to go back in time and compare that. So you say about saving the data, right? We're always able to look back on where things were at a certain point in time, and we can help you look at the differences between snapshot A, snapshot B, and say, hey, let's resolve that problem fast. Or maybe we liked how things were behaving back then, SolidFire and Element OS, right? We talk about DevOps, we talk about the ability to track and trend how those things are deployed and maybe take them back to that point in time. And when you said saving the data, it just triggered that thought again about how important it is not only to gather it and analyze it, but also to be able to recall it at a certain point in time too.
That almost sounds like traveling in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you said traveling in time, right? So that's like my final question for you. Is there a superpower you would like to have?
My daughter asked me that question the other day. She said, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? And she said, and you can't give yourself another superpower. You can't say, my superpower is to give myself any superpower I want anytime. Yeah, so she wouldn't let me do that. Any superpower. I like to fly. I think being able to fly personally, especially these days, if I could fly and not have to get in an airplane or have to go to the airport or it'd be great to be able to go from point A to point B pretty fast. So maybe not necessarily time travel, but like instant travel, kind of like Beam Me Up Scotty. You know, I could be in Barcelona now and then go home for dinner and then come back, you know, for other dinner events or other partner events or whatever.
Actually, always been my superpower wish as well. So there we go. Thanks for being on Data Visionary Talks. It was a pleasure for me. Thanks for watching.